Heading out into the corridor, another day's worth of fun looms on the horizon as I count down the time until club activities begin yet again. Ever since yesterday, I haven't been able to shake the thought of her from my mind. Sure, we see one another in class, but it's the special moments together that are the most enjoyable.
You go on ahead and get us a seat. I need to get something from the lab.
Why don't I just come with you?
But then Naomi will be sat there on her own.
Is what she said, but I really don't think Naomi would care all that much. Seeing as the three of us are now friends, even more so in our case, Naomi will be fine on her own.
You're late.
Lunch has only just started.
Didn't you hear me? And where's Kiyoko?
Did joining the science club give you the urge to ask questions at any opportunity?
Did being an ass give you the urge to be an ass at any opportunity? Just answer me.
She's gone to get something from the lab. She'll be here soon. Crossing her arms as if in an attempt to stifle herself from her usual humph, Naomi goes back to staring at her lunchbox intently. You wanted her to try it, didn't you?
Does that
I'm home. I'm here.
Having approached our table as her usual energized self, Kiyoko shifts to a blush, basking the awkward atmosphere she herself created. Welcome home.
It was a mistake, okay?
Taking a seat by my side, Kiyoko bowed sharply towards me before returning to her usual self. Another heartwarming smile, another opportunity to send my heart racing yet again.
Anyway, look.
Pulling out a small blue box from her bag, Kiyoko rests it on the table before popping its lid. A neatly made lunch inside. So you both made lunches then?
I wanted you to try it.
I wanted her to try it.
Honestly, this situation seems pretty cliched.
You can have some too, I guess.
Given the fact it's been hard to avoid obvious stares from some of her admirers, trying her lunch is a definite gamble. Seeing as Kiyoko asked first, and that she's my girlfriend, trying hers first seems like the better option. Perhaps trying Naomi's first is the better option. Kiyoko seems like the better chef, and there's a chance I might need something nice after trying this. Sure, I'll have some.
Don't eat too much. The rest is for her.
What about your share?
I'll think about that later.
Shrugging it off, I pick out some of her lunch with my chopsticks. Surprisingly, as I slowly eat away, it actually tastes pretty good.
How is it?
It's alright.
Alright.
Let me try it.
Taking some for herself, Kiyoko slowly chews away at a small piece of sausage. It's still managing to keep herself cute. It's adorable.
This is great.
See? At least someone liked it.
I never said I hated it. That was pretty good.
Make yourself clearer next time.
Now pushing her own lunch in front of me, Kiyoko looks away with a blush, signaling what she wants to say without any words. Of course I'm going to try it. Taking my chopsticks yet again, this time towards Kyoko's food, I watch as Naomi looks on in anguish. Clearly, she's jealous that I'm trying it first. This is great, Kiyoko.
What?
Really? I'm glad you like it.
Let me have some.
Snatching a fried dumpling with her own chopsticks, Naomi quickly gobbles it down without an attempt to even savor the flavor.
I love it.
Watching as Naomi continues to tuck in, Kyoko's face snaps from her usual smile to shock.
I need to eat too, you know.
Grabbing her lunch back off Naomi, the three of us continue to eat together, enjoying the opportunity to have lunch as friends.
You're looking pretty happy.
Batting an inquisitive stare, Naomi looks towards us as she sits by herself on the other side of the table. Me or her?
Both of you.
Well, after the events of yesterday, there's a lot to be happy about. I don't think telling her about it over two lunchboxes and pre-packed sandwich is the best idea. About that. Briefly peering towards Kiyoko, she too looks nervous as her cheeks redden with a crimson tint.
I did it.
You did what?
I made it onto the national roster. I've been invited to take part in a test for the top students in the country.
This is the first time I've heard of this. It's better than I told Far I love him. As happy as I'd be able to tell her, doing it over lunch in the middle of a crowded hall really isn't the place. Congratulations?
Yeah, what he said.
Neither of you seem all that impressed.
It's just... It was obvious you'd make it on there, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy for you, I really am.
I can't deny that. But thanks.
I'm happy for you too, Kiyoko. Blowing a raspberry, Kiyoko pops back towards me. What was that for?
I knew you were happy. Jeez. I can tell by your face.
I'm good to hear that she can read my emotions, but that wasn't the reaction I was expecting.
At least you won't have to train as hard compared to those races. I'd love to just sit in a chair all day.
But clearly you don't, because you hate studying.
Well, I don't remember telling you that.
Studying is training too. I have to work really hard for this, you know? Anyways, lunch is about to end. We should clear up.
She's right. Despite having coming to an end so fast, our first lunch together as a couple sure was nice. The peaceful tranquility of friendship, now something the three of us can enjoy.
Oh, Naomi. I know what he's happy about too, but... it's a secret.
Heading off with her bag into a mass of students, leaving the hall, Naomi sits with her chin perched in her hand as she rests against the table. Any really real look of interest steady within her eyes.
Is that so? Well, if it's a secret, there's no point in prying.
You're saying that as if you're going to pry anyway.
Me? No! It's just that, whatever it is, it can't stay a secret forever, can it? You know what Kiyoko's like.
Stepping up from her seat, Naomi too clears away her lunch before slinging her bag around her shoulder.
It's just that she seems really happy around you. Don't you think?
Is it really that obvious? Heading to my side, Naomi waits as the funneling students out the canteen begins to stagnate. Kyoko's feelings are truly that obvious, the nurse too are just as blatant. You don't want to walk it alone? Come on then, let's go. Walking to the labs yet again, a wave of content washes over me as I reminisce about the events of yesterday. In this very room, my entire school life had seemingly changed, yet it really doesn't feel all that different. Again, here at Kiyoko, all of this feels natural. The highlight of my day is I get to relish in the time spent with the cute girl beside me.
I won't be making it to club today. There's a big race I have to train for.
Thanks for letting me know.
What? No. I'll miss you, Naomi.
Alone, that is. As bad as it to say, it's better than that she's not here. This way we can be a little more free to express our feelings.
I don't think we'll be able to do much today.
Why is that?
Well, I need to study in the next few weeks. A lot. I'd like to use club time to do that, if that's okay with you.
Seeing that I'm hardly the most engaged member of the club, it really doesn't make any difference. I'd still be spending time with her. Whether she's playing with beakers or playing in books, my role here hasn't changed. Of course it's okay. I'm here to cheer you on, right?
I appreciate it. I actually need you to be pretty quiet whilst I study, but having you be here is more than I can ask for.
Smiling gently, Kiyoko grabs her blazer from a nearby chair before putting on her lab coat in the usual fashion. You don't really need to wear that today, do you?
It's still nice to wear. It looks good, right?
It sure does. Having given her a nod, Kiyoko seems pleased by my answer and heads to a nearby desk. The once barren space in front of her quickly filled by books, paper, and all sorts of utensils pulled from her bag. She's really taking this seriously. As smart as she seems, I guess she really does need to study after all. Time moves forward as the seconds count away. The atmosphere in the room is still unchanged since we arrived. Kiyoko is sitting in the same spot as she started, still intently going over a strewn pile of notes as she jots away with her pen. It's a wonder to see, but knowing that the next few weeks would be like this, I can't help but feel a little sad. The joyous energy that the club once had, now captured by a silent, stoic aura as the two of us mind our own business. It's not to say I haven't caught her peering in my direction, each and every time with her same cute smile. For that, I guess it's worth it. I want to be here for her. Looking around the room, the same sights remain just as they were the first time I walked in here. Sunlight seeping through the windows, adding a flare to the stray bits of dust floating around the room. The odd equipment neatly stacked towards the back, each one of them I'm sure having ran into Kiyoko at some point. It's almost nostalgic.
Do you like it here?
Taking a break from her studies, Kiyoko looks towards me with a warm smile as she twirls a pen within her hand. Seemingly giving off one of her most sophisticated looks she has to date, it's a nice sight. What do you mean? Spending time with you is always fun.
I mean here. The lab. Do you like it?
It's got a certain charm to it, sure. Being the place we met certainly helps. Despite having been in the same class for a while, having her survive the shovel up of second year was the first time I'd ever spoken to her properly. Of course, as classmates, it's not like we'd never exchanged any words at all. I'm sure I said good morning to her once.
There's that. This place. It helps me relax. Not just because I'm a scientist.
A scientist in training.
Well, I'd say I'm pretty qualified. Regardless, it is really nice. I'm glad you like it too.
Heading back to her notes with nothing more than a few hums, I look over her character once again, taking in what truly is a wonderful sight. Her beautiful brown hair flowing neatly in a ponytail, the lab coat, albeit unnecessary, caressing her small frame as she adjusts herself on her chair. Even though we're together, it still feels pretty creepy eyeing her up like this. I should get back to doing, well, not all that much. Leaning back in her chair, Kiyoko turns her head towards me, giving yet another smile.
I think I'm finished. For now, anyway.
You mean you're going to do more?
Of course, but we can't stay here all night. I need dinner too, you know?
She can't stay here forever either. Gathering up her things, Kiyoko puts them all away nicely into her bag as always. Club having finished, despite not really happening in the first place. Well, I'm glad you're trying your hardest.
It's really okay. Having you here means a lot, but there's something I need to tell you.
Now struck by a wave of nervousness, Kiyoko taps her small feet against the floor as her shoes ring out a sequence of taps against the hard tiles.
I think it's best if I cancel the club for a while. I just don't want things to get boring for you. I'll be studying a lot in the next few weeks.
Really? Peering away with a flushed face, Kiyoko takes a few breaths as she stands still on the spot.
I just don't want to bother you.
You're not a bother, Kiyoko. But if that's how you feel, then I want you to do your best.
I won't be able to see you much outside of class.
Thinking about it like that, it really is pretty heavy. Having just started our relationship, to be held back from seeing one another more though than usual. I don't know what to feel. The best thing I can do is support you, right? I want the best for you.
It means a lot. I'm going to smash that test just for you.
Hearing her energetic voice yet again, it adds some warmth to my heart. I really do love her.
I really like you.
I confessed yesterday, remember?
Of course I do. I would never forget that. I just like saying it.
I really like you too, Kiyoko.
You added an extra really.
That's because I mean it. Looking back on those days, it really was a world away. Kiyoko and I, enjoying time together in the club as usual, even if we didn't really do all that much. Thinking about it, it was that day I started having these feelings. A few weeks have passed since that day. As far as I'm aware, her test is pretty soon and I'm happy that she's still trying hard. But something is missing. Whether it's the feelings of being together, spending time with her and having fun as always, or something else entirely. I really don't know. I expected a relationship to be a little different, but so far, nothing's really changed besides the amount of time we spend together. It's gotten worse. Still seeing her from day to day in class, it doesn't feel like what we told one another had ever happened. I still love her, but I don't know what love really means. Walking up the usual road towards school, things are noticeably warmer as summer quickly approaches. Students, like me, heading towards another day's worth of education. That's what normal is, right? That's what I was looking for, right? A normal life. A normal relationship. Something that wouldn't stand out from the crowd. Allowing me to be myself and ride through life just like anybody else. Is what I found really that normal? Kiyoko Ishikawa. A girl living life in her own world as her own passes by without a hitch. A girl seemingly is given the gift of athleticism, brains, and beauty. Perfection at its finest. Am I really good enough for her? With the questions floating around in my head, the time we spend apart continues to grow, ticking away softly as our hearts continue in rhythm. Joining the crowd of students heading through the gates, I make my way to school. Things feel different as I make my way into class. The previous hour of activity now replaced with a solemn air of serenity as summer break quickly approaches. The sight of people wafting themselves in cool air, chugging down balls of water, not being uncommon. Despite any distinct uniform policy, as these months approach, it's clear almost everyone has opted to stick with a single white shirt. Including her. Hey, Kiyoko. Small exchanges like these, now commonplace between us, are only form of communication as her test quickly approaches. Hey, Kiyoko. With that day getting closer, she's really worked her hardest to revise as much as she can, isolating herself from the world as she delves further into her own. Just like the day I found her. Kiyoko?
Can't you see I'm studying? Oh, I didn't realize it was you.
I'm sorry for bothering you. Seeing this happen, it hurts. I head back to my desk with those words still in my mind. Kiyoko, looking on without sparing any more words, before quickly turning back to her desk. How about trying again with when your mouth isn't full?
What's wrong?
Sitting across the table from me, Naomi scoffs down the remains of her sandwich as we sit beside the canteen. A pair. I decided to leave class pretty late, being one of the last to leave. It's all I could do to stop something like that happening again.
I'm going to the lab. I'm sorry about...
It's okay. Please do your best. Despite that, she still waited for me. Why do you think there's something wrong?
You're just making a weird face is all. Though I guess it's not uncommon for you.
Thanks for the encouragement.
What? If something is wrong, why don't you just tell me? I'm your friend, after all.
It's just pretty funny seeing you eat so much. Having just finished the sandwich, several other wrappers remain strewn across the table as onlookers gawk at their idol's feast. The track captain, going at it like this was some sort of buffet.
I have a big race soon. I told you that, didn't I? The extra calories help.
I guess that's how it works.
If you really get off watching girls eat, go take Kiyoko out for a meal.
That's the problem. Having caught on to my sullen mood, Naomi responds aptly with a pensive guise of her own. A look of thought directed towards me as she licks the tips of her fingers clean.
So there is something wrong.
It's just... me and Kiyoko. We haven't been spending as much time together as I'd like. Every time I question it, it feels as if something is wrong. The feelings I have for her, I can't understand them anymore. We don't just become friends, yet to be in a relationship. Is that right?
Ah, right. She had that test, didn't she?
You forgot?
Of course I didn't forget. I'd like to spend more time with her too, you know?
I think your case is a little different. Or vice versa, ours.
Sorry I'm not head over heels for you like her. Just what is your problem anyway?
What do you mean?
Why do you feel so bad?
Thinking about it like that, it's hard to come up with an answer. I want to spend time with her. I want to see her. I want to have fun again. To me, it feels like that emotional connection is missing. The bond that brought us together. Don't you think it's hard to have a relationship when we hardly see one another? Kiyoko and I, are we really right for one another? I feel like we rushed into things. Is that really how I feel? Right now it's hard to understand.
What's your idea of a perfect relationship? As long as there's feelings, that's what really matters, right? I think you just need to think about what you really want.
I want the best for Kiyoko. She told me she liked me. Love? Like? Is there a difference?
Love is a science too. But this was my first experiment. I'm happy it was with you.
Love.
Are you okay? You're looking a little weird.
Didn't you just say that wasn't uncommon for me?
No, I mean... never mind. Anyway, if you love Kiyoko, that's what matters.
If I love Kiyoko. Speaking of perfect relationships, what's your idea of one? Surely you've thought about that kind of stuff.
Me?
No, I was asking your sandwich wrapper.
I guess
She pauses.
I'd want to be with someone who's always been there for me. To make me feel safe. And loved. That's what everyone wants, right?
In the end, I agree. To that extent, I don't know what I've done for Kiyoko.
Sometimes, we have to adjust our personalities to appeal to those we want to be liked by. But with you, I haven't had to do that. Thinking about you, being with you, makes my heart race. Science can't explain that.
If you're not happy, you should do what your heart really wants.
My heart. I don't know what my feelings are.
If that's how you feel.
As the lunch bell rings in the distance, Mamie begins scooping up all her trash into a small bag, presumably to toss it into the bin.
Here you go.
What am I supposed to do with it?
Hey, I listened to your problems. The least you could do is do me a favor.
Alright. Wait, how did you even know me and Kiyoko were going out?
Going out.
You know what I meant.
It was pretty obvious. You might not know it, but she's been pretty happy. See ya!
Heading off abruptly, I idle around my table with a bag of Navy's trash in my hand. I could probably sell this. Yet tossing it into a nearby trash can close to the doors, I walk out the canteen with a new agenda. I need to tell Kiyoko how I feel. Even if I don't know what that is. Tossing my back into my bed, the sunlight through the window gives off a tranquil aura as not so tranquil thoughts remain stuck in my head. I know I had to tell her. Was it as easy as that? After coming all this way together, at the end of the day, it's all my fault. I want her to be happy. Can I really do that for her if I'm not? With all these questions, I take a sip from the bottle of water at the side of my desk. Doesn't taste too great. Yeah. Nothing is going to change unless I do it. Pulling out my phone, all of our old conversations pop up on the screen. A shared digital history. It's almost nostalgic. I'd first joined the club as a nobody. I had no real direction, 3 years without once experiencing the stereotypical school life I'd expected. And then I found her. Giving that up just because a few weeks apart? I can't do that, can I? Shaking my head in an attempt to thwart my thoughts, I began to type my message. Meet me in the city at 6. It's important. A date. We haven't been on many, certainly not in the last few weeks. But it's a date. What with her studies, it's surprising to see a response so quickly. Okay. It's not much. I don't want things to go on like this. I love her. People pass by one as I stand in the middle of the city square. Alone. Time continues to pass, almost comically as I continue to stare back and forth between the crowd and my phone. Meet me in the city at 6. It's important. With a few minutes to go, I can't hold against her for not being early. But this isn't like her. Then again, To know what she's really like, it's not like I can answer that question right now. As the sun begins to set, the warm glow of the sky gives off a romantic vibe. That in itself is almost funny. As the time we spend together continues to degrade, knowing what those feelings are really have been the challenge. But right now I know what I have to say. All this time, being in a club, it really has been fun. I really hold these days close to my heart. But having to understand what my heart really wants, that's been hard. Sometimes we have to adjust our personalities to appeal to those we want to be liked by. Is that really what we've been doing? I can't tell anymore. Taking a look back at my phone, it's surprising to see that 5 minutes has already passed. Standing here alone for so long, it must look pretty weird. The sky continues to shift towards a romantic shade of orange, the leaves of the trees ahead of me rustling in the early summer breeze. With the crowd beginning to thin, a distinct figure appears from within.
Sorry about being late.
Kiyoko Ishikawa, a classmate of mine. She's talked about a lot around the school, being known for intelligence, enough so that topped the leaderboards for every test, not just in the school but even regionally. Don't worry about it. She came. Despite all the studying, she still came. Sporting casual attire, pink shirt covering her athletic body, as her charcoal dress flutters on the breeze, she really does look cute. Holding an embarrassed expression as she looks towards the floor, it could even be called adorable.
You wanted to tell me something, right? You said it was important.
That's what I like to say to her. Yeah, I did. But I can't. Something inside me can't. With that sad look coating her face, it's clear she's picked up on the mysterious atmosphere I've created. Highlighted further that, besides our morning run-ins, this is the first time we've really spoken in a while. How's the studying going? Making small conversation, it feels like an attempt to push what I really need to say as far away as possible, like things are still as they were before.
It's been hard. Lately, I've been struggling a lot. It's starting to hurt.
Seeing your woeful face, I can only feel those same painful feelings in my heart. Why don't you take a break?
I can't do that.
Why not? Raising my voice, Kiyoko steps backwards in fright before sinking back into the sullen look. It hurts to see. Do you really have to push yourself this hard? I want to be your friend again, your boyfriend. You're smart, you're athletic, you're beautiful. If you want to go out with someone else, they won't be hard to find at all. Why me? All this time I want to make you happy. I want to be there for you. But that's been hard. As tears start to roll down my cheeks, all I can feel is pain and silence. My chest continues to get tighter. Squeezing down my essence as the words flow out one by one. So tell me, do you really have to push yourself this hard? Startled by my words, Kiyoko looks back almost confused as a hint of rose remains placed on her cheeks.
Of course, I have to. I've been doing that all along.
Looking back towards me with damp cheeks, Kiyoko raises her gaze from the ground.
I've been doing that for you. Ever since you joined the club, I've been trying my hardest to come out of my shell. It's not easy trusting someone after all that happened with Naomi, but you changed that. I want to make you proud.
With the space around us devoid of the crowds of before, Kiyoko's words ring out solely to me. A special world shared by the two of us under the blissful summer skies.
That's all I've really wanted.
Stepping forward, Kiyoko continues to hold a rosy expression.
People see us how they want to see us. It's as simple as that. Their definitions and on their terms. Is living life like that really fun?
Leaving the question open, I ponder answering before she continues regardless.
I'm not always the energetic, happy girl that you've come to know. You can tell that, right? Things like emotions, feelings, they're difficult. Why do you think I put on a facade? It's hard to be happy all the time.
Having those feelings, it really adds weight to my own. I was wrong to ever doubt her. As the breeze rustles the trees around us, a shimmer of light hits a tear on Kyoko's cheek as she starts to cry yet again. The pain from before having to beat deepen further into my heart. The pain of being in love.
I know I haven't been able to spend much time with you. That's been hurting me too. Just seeing you today really makes me happy. I miss you so much.
I'm no masochist, but sometimes that pain is enjoyable. It wouldn't be love without it. This entire time, Kiyoko too had these feelings. This entire time, she's been doing her best just for me. Giving up on someone like that would be wrong, especially not someone I love. I've missed you too, Kiyoko. I love you. Hearing those words, her eyes widen in shock before her face quickly flashes crimson once again. The sight of a nervous girl trying to hold back her embarrassment as she wipes away the tears from her eyes. No matter what, I want to support her through thick and thin. I want to be here for her.
I love you too. I've always loved you.
After all this time, it's those words that I've been wanting to hear. I love you. Having come this far, the bond between us can only grow stronger from here. I want her to do well, not for my sake, but for herself. Kiyoko Ishikawa, my girlfriend. She's talked about a lot around the school, being known for intelligence, yet there's one thing that stands out the most. Her heart. Kiyoko, there's something I've been wanting to give you for a while.
Is it a present? Huh?
People see us how they want to see us. It's as simple as that. Their definitions, and on their terms. Whatever we're seen as, I really couldn't care. Right now, right here, all I care about is her. As her warmth presses against me, the sensation of her lips tickles, her feelings match to mine. The tears of before now gone as I stroke her cheek, ruffling aside her hair. Things can't be any better. The two of us together, that's what I really wanted. From meeting her by chance, to helping her overcome the barrier between our bonds, to this, a kiss under the evening sun. It's unreal to think we've gotten so close so quickly. But I love it. Taking a moment to break apart, Kiyoko breathed down my neck, still remaining ever so close. Together, the scientist and her assistant, we'll take on what the world has to throw at us.
I guess that concludes today's club activities, right? Thanks for the present. I love you.
Heading down the corridor, while typically a menial task, is strikingly different today. Of course, I knew this would happen, but seeing it in person really does blow me away. Around what would usually be considered a boring old notice board, a crowd of students fight to catch a glimpse of a small piece of paper pinned up against the cork. As I approached, murmurs began to spread. Surprisingly, the crowd thins. That's right, I am her boyfriend. With a few people deciding to stay, I peer over a classmate's shoulder to take a look at the results myself. National exam and proficiency for 95th percentile students. Let's just skip the results. 5th place, not her. 4th is Shizuki Ishikawa. Kiyoko Ishikawa, 3rd place. Third place? Thinking about it, 3rd place in the entire country doesn't seem all that bad. At least she's on the podium.
3rd place?
You too?
What? I'm allowed to check my friend's score, aren't I? Where's Kiyoko anyway? We have to congratulate her.
She's with the principal. Although being in 3rd, such as a feat, still has put this school on the map yet again. I'm happy for her.
Shall we wait outside? People are giving us weird looks.
I think that's best. Heading outside, the two of us stand in the sweltering summer heat.
How are things going with Kiyoko?
In our relationship?
Yeah, that.
Good. Really good. Having put in all that effort, It's this day we've both been looking forward to the most.
If that's the case, I'll leave you two lovebirds to it.
What happened to... We have to congratulate her.
I'll do that in my own time. I'm sure she won't mind.
Heading out for the characteristic wave, Naomi leaves amongst the crowd of students heading home for the summer break. With a whole lot of fun now ahead of us, my heart anxiously beats to see Kiyoko.
I'm here. Where's Naomi?
She said she'd congratulate you in her own time.
Is that so? Don't you have something you should be saying too?
Congratulations? Times like these I won't replace for the world.
You could have put a bit of effort in. But still, thank you.
I guess we truly are chemically bonded.
Stay with me forever. I thought you were here to join the science.